Welcome back to the final part of the show. We now return to Palma to conclude our highlights from the Copa del Rey Regatta.
Day 4 of the Copa del Rey MAPFRE here in Palma, and once again an array of boats would be hitting the water to compete in their various classes. Among them, the TP52s would be showcasing their light and speedy nature. These boats are all carbon fibre. Combine that with their powerful sails and they can reach a good speed on the racecourse, especially on the downwind. Like the TP52s, the IRCs also put on a good show out on the water. Among them was Team IFOS with Prince Felipe as skipper, who was equally as keen to get started with the day's racing. To get the best performance out of these boats, it's important for the teams to gather momentum and speed before reaching the start line, with trimming and fine-tuning playing as vital a role as tactics if teams want to win. The first race of the day for the Mini-Maxi fleet saw Allegra putting in a strong performance and finishing in first place and scoring an easy bullet. The team were followed over the line by Jethu, who finished in second place. But Shockwave didn't perform as well as expected today and lost out on third place to Stig, meaning the team finished the race in fourth position and find themselves in fourth place on the overall leaderboard. In the IRC 52 class, it seems that the medals may have already been decided. Quantum Racing scored 2 more bullets today, making them uncatchable as they continue to keep the top spot on the leaderboard. RAN finished the day with a second and third placing, which helps to increase their distance from third place at Zura overall. There's still more racing to be done, but the top 3 teams are already looking secure on the overall standings. Back to the Bravo racecourse, where the ORC classes were taking place. Rats on Fire and Movistar led their races in ORC 1 and ORC 2 respectively. Both teams put in a strong performance and increased their distance from Grupo Clinico and X-Spain respectively. Despite the shifty conditions and light winds, the teams at the top were able to do what they needed to stay in the top 6 and hold on to their strong overall standings. Meanwhile, on the Alpha course, Margarita JS Team and Lelegin finished the day on equal points, meaning both teams have advanced safely through to the 5th day of racing. But they can't relax yet, as there are other teams breathing down their necks and hoping to better their standings too. On to the J80 fleet now, and Turismo do Algarve from Portugal scored another 2 bullets, bringing them to a formidable total of 8 bullets so far this regatta. Today saw the penultimate day of racing for the 32 Copa del Rey MAPFRE here in Palma, where a whole host of international teams gathered to compete in their various classes. Amongst them were the TP52, X35 and J80 fleets, all of them coming down to the more decisive races as the regatta nears its end. As if to heighten expectation, the morning broke with an intense heat and a light breeze, meaning the teams had a slight wait before racing could get underway. Finally, the breeze kicked in and it was stronger than yesterday. On the Charlie course, both the ORC1 and ORC2 fleets had a clear start to their races, with the choppy waves and 15-knot breeze making for a great spectacle as the boats powered along the course. In the ORC1 class, Rats on Fire continue to dominate the overall leaderboard, sitting on the top spot for the 5th day in a row. The Romanian boat Natalia is currently in second place, but it's still all to play for, as only 3 points separate them and third place Grupo Clinico. Lying in 4th and 5th are 2 Swan 45 boats, Germany's Elena Nova and France's Axel. In the ORC2 class, Movistar scored another 2 bullets today, surprising no one with their consistently strong performance this week. They're in first place on the leaderboard and look to be uncatchable as they head into the final day of racing tomorrow. X-Spain is in second place overall, followed by Erlan Ermech in 3rd and Tanit 4 in 4th. On the Bravo course, the IRC and Soto 40 classes had a blast. Both races saw packed mark roundings and high speeds from these unique racing machines, sailed by some of the very best in professional sailing. In the TP52 class, Quantum Racing proved their consistency yet again, with another strong performance keeping them in first place overall, threatened only by Ran, who currently lies in second. The two have been jostling for the top spot on the leaderboard all week and have left the rest of their fleet far behind with no hope of catching up. The J80s and X35s had another 2 races to complete today in the Alpha race area. Turismo do Algarve were unable to continue their flawless performance in the J80 class, scoring a 12th and 4th place in their races. However, their results today won't affect their overall position, but it will open the game up and offer the other teams a chance to catch up. It was the final day of the Copa del Rey MAPFRE here in Palma, Spain, and judgment day for many of the competitors racing here. Although every class still had races to sail, a few event winners had already been decided thanks to some standout performances yesterday that put a huge point difference between the leaders and their rivals. Having already had 5 days of racing here, the teams had a good feel for their boats and a measure of their competitors, but as always they made the most of their morning briefings to discuss conditions, tactics and last-minute observations before racing began. The very last of the preparations took place just before the start line on the Charlie course. The approach to the start line offers a last opportunity to trim and fine-tune the boats before crossing the line. The breeze was a bit lighter today, so there was also decisions on preferred sails to be made. The first race of the day for the IRC 0 fleet saw a divided start, with boats choosing both the committee boat side and the pin end of the line. Interestingly, both Shockwave and Stig selected the committee boat end before sailing up the course, whilst Allegra suffered a less than successful start, crossing the line early and being forced via radio to turn back and restart the race. In contrast to the IRC Zeros, the IRC 52 saw a crowded start with boats opting for the pin end and some crossing the line early. Choosing to go against the crowd was Rio, as they headed for the committee boat end. The formidable leader Quantum also opted for a questionable start, taking the middle of the line and paying the price with a poor beginning to the race. The racing offered wonderful images from the Bay of Palma, with the Mini Maxi sailing downwind crossing the IRC 52s as they sailed upwind. All the battles taking place simultaneously and spoiling spectators for a choice as to which race to watch. At this point, Shockwave was still in the lead in the IRC 0 class, with Jethu and Allegra both opting for opposite gate roundings. Back to the IRC 52 fleet, and Quantum were rounding the weather mark in 4th place. All of the boats sailed the first part of the downwind in line before splitting as they opted for different sides of the course. In the IRC 1 class, B2 had a perfect day today, finishing their regatta in first place overall, with Team Vision Future finishing in second and Speedy in third. Emma finished the day in 4th, while IFOS suffered a dip in form and had to settle for 5th place as their regatta came to an end. The winners of the Soto 40 class were Vamos Spain, followed by Portuguese team Antares in second and Chilean's Mitsubishi Motors taking the last podium spot. The ORC2 fleet saw the unbeatable Movistar, skippered by Pedro Campos, take the event win. Finally, the results for the J80 fleet saw Team Turismo do Algarve take the top spot overall after scoring 2 more bullets today. They had a huge lead over second place Delta Stone and Factor Energia in third. With the day's racing complete and the winners decided, the end of Copa del Rey was marked with a wonderful closing ceremony at the Cathedral of Santa Maria in Palma, where all of the teams received their trophies and prizes. The 32 Copa del Rey saw a full week of racing, giving both spectators and competitors some great memories to take away with them. Some of the teams dominated their classes and some fought it out to the last. Thank you for being with us to enjoy the action and celebrate with the winners.